Lordy lordy, it's loud here today. I've got my 3D printer burning some stuff off. I've got my vinyl cutter cutting some stickers. My sticker printer. So today I want to talk about your first microphone as a guitarist. Now I know everyone's going to be like, a 57 obviously. But you know what? Everybody and their dog has a 57. I'm sure someone else in your band, your friend, your grandma is hiding one under the bed. Everyone's got one of these you can borrow. What I think your first mic should actually be would be either a large or a small diaphragm condenser. I'm sorry, I'm just noticing that the front of this is all smashed in. Crazy. I take really good care of my stuff, so I'm guessing this one had an oops and someone didn't tell me. Either way, so I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna record 3 things: vocals, acoustic guitar, and electric guitar using a 57, and then I'm going to do that using a large diaphragm condenser, and then I'm going to do the same thing doing it with a small diaphragm condenser, which is a lot. I'm just going to do, and I apologize for my singing, I'm a little bit out of practice. Also, I have some vocal cord damage due to a intubation tube when I had some surgery. They just ripped that out like they were starting a chainsaw. And I will just sing like a chorus of one of my own original songs. I apologize in advance for writing another broken-hearted love song. But, you know, Lauren, you hurt me. You hurt me! And I never got over it. Here we go! For microphones, I'm using a Shure SM57, a Rode NT3 for the small diaphragm condenser, and for the large diaphragm condenser, it is an Audio-Technica AT3035. So none of these are like top-of-the-line mics, except for the 57. That would be considered a top-of-the-line mic because it's just a staple. Everybody has one, which is the whole point of this video. Dare to be different. The amp I'm using is this Marshall MG15 Mini Stack 2. It was actually a gift from Lauren, who I mentioned earlier. This is the only time I've actually received a Valentine's Day present in my whole life, and I'm 42. It's very special to me. Anyways, I'm not going to fiddle too much with the tone. I just want something mostly clean but kind of raunchy. Sounds pretty good to me. So I got all 3 capsules kind of in a line, and I'm going to stand far enough back that hopefully the sound hits them. Very scientific. You can see my precision measuring device here. Yeah, looks good. And you wouldn't even talk to me. You wouldn't even try. You just stood up, you walked away, left a grown man to cry, 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 cry. Okay, let's hear how that sounds in Pro Tools. What happens now, you say? Well, I'm gonna do a quick mix, 3 quick mixes. I'm only gonna use volume to set a level, and I'll put a splash of reverb, but it will be the same reverb and the same amount on the vocals, just because. And then we'll hear my beautiful voice 3 times in a row, and then we'll have some more discussion. So, here we go. This is the, we'll start with the 57, because that is the point of contention here. Ready? And you wouldn't even talk to me. You wouldn't even try. You just stood up, you walked away, left a grown man to cry, 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 cry. Next, we'll try the Rode NT3. Are you ready to hear the song for the first time? And you wouldn't even talk to me. You wouldn't even try. You just stood up, you walked away, left a grown man to cry, 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 cry. And finally, the 335. Nope. It's just my love of Gibsons. I meant 3035. As if I can afford a 335 right now. And you wouldn't even talk to me. You wouldn't even try. You just stood up, you walked away, left a grown man to cry, 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 cry. Well, this is where the real discussion is going to join us. So you probably noticed the 57 is dark and smooth, and that's great. And then the NT3 was a little brighter, a little airier, and then the 3035, the Audio-Technica, was the brightest of them all, and kind of had the most sound to it, the most air, the most frequency range, or the largest frequency range. But the thing is, if you record an acoustic with a 57 and you try to add in that airiness, you can only do so much before you start to make it sound bad. Whereas if you want a darker tone with a condenser mic, you can cut off those high frequencies, because cutting is less an issue than boosting frequencies when you're mixing it. So with that in mind, I think that a large diaphragm condenser or a small diaphragm condenser would be your best bet, because you can always, you have more frequencies, you have more everything, more air, more low end, more high end to tailor the sound than you do with a 57. Am I saying you should never get a 57? Absolutely not. But when you're starting out and you just want to record yourself, you know, but then something else comes along, like you're in a little band, you throw a 57 up in the room to record your rehearsal, it's going to be a muddy mess, whereas the the large diaphragm or the small diaphragm condenser is going to get a more balanced sound. Obviously it's not going to sound like a mix, but you know, you'll be able to hear the elements better. You can throw your large diaphragm condenser over a drum kit and then maybe boost the bass a little bit just to get that kick drum happening a little more. And like, there are hundreds, there are millions of recordings where a single mic was used on a drum kit. Is it ideal? No. Can it be done? Absolutely. I think just the options, the doors that open when you have the wider frequency response is very important and often overlooked, because you know, you go to your concert and you're like, oh, my friend Phil that I adore because he plays guitar like doo-doo-doo-doo, he has a 57 on his cab. Now say you look at the price and like a 57, how much is a 57 these days? $122. When the heck did that happen? Usually $140. When I bought mine, like, how many do I have? Like 8 of them or so. They were like $75 each. I don't look my age. Road NT3. Oh my lord. $317. When I bought it, $175. And then let's go with the Audio Technica. Well, the 3035 is discontinued, but the 2035 is, what does that say? $180. Not bad. Barely more expensive than the 57. Like I said, it can do more for you in the long run, and I just think that having the options is the best option. You know what my opinion is. I hope you found this video informative. Maybe I rambled a bit. I'll try not to do that again.